Okay. So, can coordinator quickly start off and then I will take it up from there? I would request coordinator sir to start the session with a brief note and where we conclude, and then I'll take it up from there. Yeah. You are not audible, sir. You are not audible. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Okay. Good afternoon, all to all the distinguished participants, respected speakers, and faculty members. It is my pleasure to welcome you to day 6, the final day of our ATAL sponsored faculty development program on demystifying data for intelligent applications in real world scenario. Over the past 5 days, we have explored a wide range of topics from foundational concepts to advanced applications, gaining deeper and understanding of how data driven intelligence is shaping modern technology and decision making systems. Your active participation, meaningful discussions, and constant enthusiasm have been instrumental in making this FDP a truly enriching experience. The level of engagement shown by each of you reflects your dedication to continuous learning and professional growth. As we step into the concluding session today, we look forward to insightful presentations, final discussions, and reflections on the knowledge gained over the week. Today is also an opportunity to consolidate our learnings, interact further with our resource persons, and clarify any remaining queries. We are grateful to our speakers for their valuable contributions and to all participants for their unwavering
Some
involvement
network
throughout the
issue,
program.
sir. I think, is it from my side or?
Uh, Let us make day 6 equally vibrant, insightful, and impactful, wishing everyone a productive and fulfilling final day of the FDP. Today's first speaker is Mr. Shondip De. We have already heard Shondip De last 2 days ago, and we are just waiting to hear you, sir, again. Mr. Shondip De is a seasoned analytics professional with more than 18 years of experience in the advanced analytics across both captive and service industries. As a subject matter expert in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and generative AI, he brings strong cross functional leadership in analytics, consulting, and platform development. His prowess lies in leveraging AI driven solutions to enhance business outcomes through the design, development, and implementation of sophisticated analytical frameworks. Professional expertise includes generative AI and machine learning, which leads to innovative projects that utilizes generative AI to create adaptive intelligent solutions. Advanced analytics includes extensive experience in deploying data-driven strategies to drive efficiency and business growth. Cross-domain expertise includes proven track record across retail, CPG, telecom, high-tech, banking, and financial services, insurance, and healthcare sectors. AI-powered decision-making includes empowering organizations with actionable insights through cutting-edge AI technologies. Mr. De's career began with HDFC as deputy manager in risk analytics after completing his MTech from Indian Statistical Institute. His contributions have been pivotal in both risk and marketing analytics within the retail banking and CPG sectors. In his most recent roles at PwC, TCS, and Cognizant, Mr. De led teams that showcased comprehensive analytics capabilities spanning from business intelligence to business intelligence to advanced analytics. This includes text mining and other unstructured data analytics, where he played a key role in development of innovative analytics products. Achievement and leadership includes build and he led high performing teams to deliver end-to-end analytics solutions. He is instrumental in developing and implementing AI driven products that revolutionize business processes. His his demonstrated leadership in integrating generative AI technologies to streamline operations and drive strategic growth. I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep De to start the session.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now on from here, I will take up the session, and thank you for the introduction. Reiterating the introduction, predominantly for those who could not attend So, as a start of this session, so what I would like to do, I will brief what we discussed 2 days back, which was on Thursday. And today is Saturday. So Thursday we discussed in length. Hope more or less we have the similar participant, but from the number I can understand that some more participants have joined. Some reshuffling has also been done, so no issues. I will definitely uh, uh, give a quick backdrop of what we discussed last time and where we stopped. And from there, I would like to take up from the today's session. That is number one. Number two, I would like today, I'm bit in dilemma. There are two things I'm thinking which one to showcase. Actually, I wanted to show both, but due to the time constraint, I'll not be able to showcase both. One is one application um, that I built some time back, I think 4 to 5 years back, on advanced analytics and machine learning. Um, in today's date, that solution is also relevant, but instead of machine learning, now the generative AI is being used extensively in some of the interferences, means interventions around the interventions. So that is one. Another is the digital marketing analytics. So before I get into this, I'm just thinking like to get some thoughts from you guys, like how you think what would be the interesting to see, to listen, or to discuss rather. The marketing analytics, digital marketing especially, because this is one of the biggest and hot topics in today's date, and it will stays relevant for, I think, for the upcoming years also, because of the advancement of AI. Everything is moving very fast, and everything is coming into this mobile, right? So obviously, I think digital marketing would be more interesting. And if time permits, I'll try to touch upon my solution, which we built in one of my previous organization. Okay. So moving on to, I'm sharing my screen and I'm keeping my screen off so that there is less of bandwidth issue. And please tell me if I am loud and clear, my voice is completely audible to all of you. In case not, please immediately you ping and to sir, our coordinator sir, because since my screen will be shared, so I'll not be able to see. So I would request please interrupt me, because it is important. It is not a one-way discussion. Again, I'll tell you, it is an interactive session. So in between sessions, the different topics, I will take a quick pause as I did last time, and I would request whoever found some connections with your current role, responsibilities, and knowledge base, please interact with me. That really helps me to understand, yes, I am on the right track, I am able to explain you the things, and it is helpful for you, all of you. Okay. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen and I'm keeping my uh, video off. So first I will quickly, as I told that uh, I'll quickly summarize what I discussed last session, which was appreciated by some of the members or participants. Uh, so I believe this is going to be useful. So last time, what we discussed, actually, we discussed with the data science lifecycle in detail. We discussed in the key techniques in data science and machine learning. We discussed the AI and generative AI in detail, like how the AI has been introduced, and from AI to generative AI. Probably some of you remember I was talking about that a sourcing and procurement example where there are a lot of RFPs come, and then a specific department, let's say finance and account department, has to prepare the purchase order with the suppliers, and it was a very cumbersome and a very complicated process because it is not for a big organizations. The number of suppliers are innumerable suppliers, the new suppliers, existing suppliers, so a lot of challenges. So there, and the documents comes in both in image form, PDF form, and so on and so forth. So in such situations, obviously there is a role of generative AI where it plays. When from AI they try to do automation through robotic process automation, which we called RPA, and then from RPA to Gen AI. So this is one example actually finds very interesting to me because I could really connect. I could really connect. This is one of the example, and another one biggest example is the logistics. So this warehouse and then transportation. And so all of us have learned in the college days that transportation and assignment and transportation problem. But in the real life scenarios, actually, it is not only number of routes and the number of warehouse, right? So there are some other external factors which we call exogenous factors. So that plays a pivotal role in reaching the materials or raw materials or finished materials, finished goods into their respective warehouses. Okay, so there actually these data science or generative AI or you know uh, external factors, how to bring in your calculations the external factors plays a pivotal role. Okay, uh, business applications and data science that I have, I think explained. We have discussed in detail about Netflix, about content recommendations, about OTTs. We have talked about. I think we have discussed about Mintra. We have discussed about Flipkart into the e-commerce space, and I have also given the differences between the offline stores versus online stores because uh, online means e-commerce that we are talking about, their strategy, and how the offline store strategy will be different, and then the use of applications, the Gen AI and all, the multimodal, probably this terminology you have listened to from me as well as you have done some bit of research that what is multimodal, where we are talking about text, image, and video. So today I'm going to talk about with respect to marketing, one of the good example, and we'll discuss in detail, of course. And then we have discussed in tools and technologies, and then challenges and ethical considerations. So these two we could not touch upon. So let's quickly do those stuff which we could not. So we have discussed about this particular understanding customer behavior, both in online and offline, new customers, how to understand, then operational efficiency. I have talked about here. I brought into that supply chain logistics problem statement, and then I try to explain what are the things and how the different exogenous factors plays an important role. Maybe it is a political issue, or maybe it is an environmental issue. If you know in advance, or even if you know in very short span of time, how you can bring that into your computation and make your decision making more powerful and more relevant. Yeah, so that I have discussed about. Fraud detection I have talked about because online transaction fraud, offline fraud, still you can, I mean, we can identify, we have some clues and all, but online transaction frauds, I talked about how much time it takes, what are the different gateways, and what are the different checks and balances in terms of parameters it is being taken care of, right? The more parameters we take, the more, uh, stringent process we maintain. But then again, the problem is if we want to do that, then it has a reverse the other issues, in the sense that the payment process will take more time. The customer will get impatient, and maybe the link may broken. So there are a lot of challenges. So those, including all those challenges, how this the best can be done is the anomaly detection technique. So that is what I think we have discussed. What we have not discussed is the dynamic pricing. I think we will start from here. So I'll talk about dynamic pricing, and someone from our uh, respected professors and faculty, someone I think asked about the healthcare. In the healthcare, the patient outcomes and something. So it was already I already captured this, but then I will try to explain some of the things. And this is one of the important this thing, which is data analytics on various business verticals. It has two sides of it. I'll tell you, so that all of you can really understand how in these service industries, or the entire industry, analytics industry, how it is running in terms of how we are segregating the businesses, how we are managing the large. Yeah. Okay. So after giving these three examples, okay, dynamic pricing, healthcare, and content creation, I'll take a quick pause. So dynamic pricing. Anybody has any idea, like, I mean, we know this, like dynamic pricing, but then we go and watch movies. We air tickets, especially recent event. I can tell you, in Kashmir event, when there is a terrorist attack has happened, because just before 1 week I visited Kashmir, and I returned by flight. I went by flight also, but then I have not faced that price fluctuations. In fact, some of the flight prices is increased to 1 lakh rupees or something like that, 50,000, and then government has to interfere and intervene and has to give a ceiling of the prices. But think of a normal situations where the movie prices, right? The in the Inox or PVR or any of these multiplexes, how the price determination for uh, other amusements and all, I think we have not seen, but at least flight and this one, that movie, especially the multiplexes, there is a dynamic pricing, right? So dynamic pricing, adjusting prices based on demand. So you may say, Sandeep, what is so new about it? I mean, why this is? I mean, maybe all of you are teaching in this particular area where we are showing our students that how to do forecasting, how to do demand forecasting, how to do the price elasticity analysis and all. Okay, what you may have not considered so far, but those who have considered, it is fantastic. Those who have not considered, I wanted to tell you how you are bringing, or how one should bring the exogenous factors. Okay, and then you check the importance of those factors. Okay. um, with respect to this, I want to talk about one quick example which coming in my mind, which was like, in terms of pricing, there is a NPCF. There is a called NPCF, which is called New Product Correction Factor. What was that? I'll tell you, and then I'll come to the dynamic pricing. So, New Product Correction Factor is primarily, this is applicable to the CPG, means consumer packaged goods, that ready-made, like soap, shampoo, edible foods, like packaged foods, something like that. Um, so including cigarettes, for example. Huh? So they, when they launch a new product, okay, so initial few weeks they give the promotion. Okay, so they gives the promotion, and then this promotional price is very different from the actual price. Obviously, it's a reduced price, right? So during this demand forecasting, okay, so now when the product is on discounted, right? Which is not the actual price, and you launch the product as part of your marketing campaign, and then based on the sell value of this product for the next, let's say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks or so, if you predict in future that what would be the predicted sales volume, and based on that, basically the demand, you are going to generate the demand, and then you will store your inventory because you are going to manufacture that. So it's a complete cycle if you think of. What we are going to miss that, because the product that was launched, that has a discounted price, so obviously then the uh, uh, sale may be high. In most cases, it is happening high. So sale volume may be high. But then based on that, if you generate the demand, because you have to generate the demand card, but then you bring in one correction factor. Okay. Correction factor means whatever demand value you are getting, you give a correction factor, let's say 30% correction, 20% correction, means if you get 100, then you make it 100 into 30 means 30%. So that means you are essentially getting 100 minus 30, 70. So this 70 unit is the actual volume instead of 100. So this is called the new product correction factor. This I am telling you because when I was working with Symphony, which is IRI, one of our this thing. IRI is very competitor to Nielsen. Nielsen was doing the biggest market research company, which you may know. So IRI is the next big thing. Okay, so part of. So when we were working with a client called Clorox, long time back, I'm talking about. So it is in US. Whenever they launch this particular product, any specific new variant, not product, variant of the product or something, they our task was to identify and reduce the uh, getting the right computation of the correction factor. So in this entire exercise, the main point was to identify that, okay, identify the correction factor. The question was like how to identify the correction factor. For that, what we used to do, we used to take the all the historical products, historical new products which was launched earlier, okay, and how their sales volume, sales trend has been. Okay, so from there we wanted to see that where is the point of inflection after which the sales are become static. Okay, so that is how it is being taken care of, and um, from those analysis we try to identify what could be the potential correction factor. Okay, so this is how we get the correction factor, and obviously it has to be a similar nature of the product, that is number one, and geography, because the other parameters are also important. Like I cannot get a correction factor, compute a correction factor of from India and apply it into US. So geography plays a pivotal role along with the product nature of the product, category of the product. So these things are has to be taken into account while we are generating the demand dynamic pricing, especially. Now coming to the dynamic pricing. So why I have given some bit of background of this pricing, because we know all of you, we can do the, if I give you a data set and if I say, okay, can you come up with a pricing? So you can say, yes, boss, I cannot, I can easily come up, give me 2 days of time, I will run this model and I will give you the price. That's not going to happen actually, because if I go with this number to the management, then the management is going to 100% going to go fail, because whether the actual market situation has been taken into consideration or not. Okay, and for that, what are the important factors that you would like to consider into your pricing, which is the um, let's say product endorsements. Okay, I'm just giving one example in this context. I'll come to the airline ticketing or movie tickets later on. The endorsements, how the endorsements plays a positive and negative role. All of you know Byju's, for example. So Byju's, when there was one incident happened with Shahrukh. Shahrukh was actually endorsing the brand and extensively endorsing the brand. That time Byju's was doing really great, but then when something happened with his son, got not convicted, for example, but some news came into the market, right? Something, uh, some negative news is. Then obviously there has been a negative perception um, about let's say this film star or someone like this, and then these brands, they, if you have seen, I mean, they reduce their promotion a little bit for some point in time. Why? Because there is a negative sentiment. Now this is called the sentiment analysis. So when we, any product we are talking about, we have to see different aspects. One of the main aspect is, let's say, brands, because brand ambassadors and their endorsements or endorsees who endorse this brand, their perception also plays a pivotal role. Okay. um, and if it is positive, definitely we can get a correction factor, similar correction factor that I am talking about. We can get that correction factor, and then we can apply it into our actual forecasting, which we are getting from data, and then we apply it, and obviously the value will be more than one, let's say 1.2, 1.3 or something, and if we multiply with the actual forecasting value, the number will be a little bit of overestimated, or I think we can call it as the number at the higher side. Similarly, if there is a negative perception or negative publicity or negative sentiments happening, then we have to compute the sentiment score, for example, which is from doing from the sentiment analysis. And I'll also tell you how to get the sentiment analysis, sentiments extraction from the different websites and all. I mean, due to the restriction of time, I cannot tell you much, but just giving the hint so that you can do your own reading. Maybe all of you, many of you know. Those who don't know, I'm just talking for them. So sentiment score we can compute, and then based on sentiment score we can come up with a factor. Okay. And the factor obviously can be, uh, let's say, one means neutral, less than one means fraction, means a negative sentiment, and more than one means 1.2, 1.3 or something means the positive sentiment. Means we get the sentiment score, and there is a package in Python, of course. If you get the Twitter extracts, so the Facebook feedbacks, because all these brands have their websites, and they also launch in YouTube and Facebook and their own channels. And from these channels, you can easily get the feedbacks and the information. So those informations can be taken, and you can just run sentiment analysis, and then you can understand, we can get a score, positive sentiment, negative sentiment, and you can specify about which dimension of that product it is talking about. Say for example, it can be movie also. I can take in this example that movie, right? A movie may be hit or maybe flop, definitely, but a specific song can be super hit, right? So due to that song, the people are going and watching that particular movie. Okay. So in this case, this particular song plays a pivotal role in in attracting those audiences. Similarly, any specific product, for example, a laptop or a mobile phone, or anything, let's say any fitness activities, anything. I mean, per se, would be good to know that, okay, if it is working good, which are the parameters are really working. If it is not working good, which are the parameters are not really working. Okay, so those dimensions we can extract, and we can bring in into our actual pricing. I mean, dynamic pricing I'm talking about. So that means when the, let's say, when the movie is being launched across the different movie halls, they coming up with a standard pricing, for example. Okay, now looking at the reactions and looking at the uh, public sentiments, and they collect these sentiments and reactions not only from the movie hall, right? So movie hall is one of the sources, but they get it from the YouTube. Means suppose they launch one particular trailer, and then this trailer is what I called organically trending or inorganically trending. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. Any movie song, anything. So some videos are are trending heavily. That due to happen organically, because that is really good. And for all these movies and all, definitely there is a inorganic trending happens. So initial 1 day, 2 day, you will see 1.2 million views, 2 million views, 3 million views, 5 million views, something like that. How can this is possible? So this is happening due to an inorganic trending, and that happens to this production houses itself. Okay, but even after all this boosting, the promotional boosting also, the movie in the first week of movie launching, after launching the movie, they get the idea like where it is going, right? Based on that, they decide the price. Okay, so from 150 rupees or 350 rupees, whether and the different show time wise, and the different day wise, also the fluctuations happens, and they keep a we do give up, let's say, range of the price, ticket range, that between 130 or maybe 200 to 300, or 200 220 to 250, something like that we are giving. And then the final number we want to decide, we want them to decide, like whatever feel comfortable, let them decide. But these ranges are given based on the sentiment, uh, the generic sentiment analysis from the market. Okay, so this is about the dynamic pricing. Okay, any question, since I have talked for some time, any question on this, the dynamic pricing, adjustment of the prices based on demand? So you can understand that not only the demand that we see on the price. Yeah.
Sir, I think there is one question from Ajitesh
Mm-hmm.
Moy Ghosh. What is the
Mm-hmm.
algorithm to identify card fraud during a real-time transaction? Because we can see so many banks fraud still happening.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So fraud actually, so there is no one size fits all algorithm. Okay, so there is a plethora of algorithms are running. We call it ensemble methodology. Very complex algorithms are used. So I cannot just tell you like we are using only support vector machine, or only fuzzy logic, or fuzzy based algorithm, or we only use the steepest descent algorithm, something like that. So there is, I will tell you, it's an ensemble method. In any such situations, we apply plethora of algorithms, and we try to see which algorithm gives the best result based on the recent data. And this keep on, it's an adaptive adaptive methodology. Means the more the data we get, the refinement keeps on happening. And in if you go to the Python packages, actually in the Python packages also, they are writing it as an ensemble. So you don't have to choose a specific algorithm. You choose a bouquet of algorithms. You give it to the data. Let the data and the algorithm decide among yourself. You only check from the accuracy and precision. Lots of frauds are happening because which you I completely agree with you, because the fraudsters are also intelligent, equally intelligent. Like the way we are studying our and statistics, they are also doing their statistics. So they also try to understand and the loopholes, and the what are the gaps they try to identify, and accordingly they are doing it. Okay, so there is no one size fits all strategy, but yes, I think I can tell you the deep neural network, the DNA, or convolution neural network is extensively used for, say, for example, in identifying the transactional fraud. Yeah. Any other question
Is there any
on
other
the?
question from the participants? You can unmute and ask.
Yes.
No, sir, I think there is no
Okay.
question yet. You can continue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, but if you have any question, I will share again the same thing. I will share my email ID. Please feel free to connect with me. Ask me whatever you could not ask here in this forum. Maybe separate one-to-one connect I would like to have, and I can share it. Okay. Healthcare. predicting patient outcomes. Okay, so in healthcare, obviously, there is a significant usage of uh, AI and generative AI, of course. Um, all of you have seen nowadays, which is called uh, any prescription when we coming out from the doctor's chamber, that prescription is immediately get scanned, right? And the respective data is being stored. Hmm? So this is called EHR data, electronic health records. And obviously, you don't really have to worry because I have worked on such a few such data where the patient's PII information, means uh, personal information identifier PII, has been masked completely. So that means it has become an anonymized data where customers' actual details will not be disclosed. So since it is an health data, it is extremely personal data. So even then, this data is really important because in order to do the advancement, this data. So the prescription is being taken, scanned, and then it is being anonymized. And after anonymizations, our task is to identify that what are the different diseases, what are the different symptoms, what the doctors are writing. Now, there is a concept of kiosk or the medical kiosk into the uh, uh, what is called the very remote places. So one of the in our surroundings, in our network, some people have got some funds and they are trying to, help mm, um, the patients who are being extreme interiors, because you have seen in or you have heard into the newses that the people are not getting the treatments when they are quite interiors, because they do not, even that initial diagnosis are not happening, for which actually they are dying, and the situations are very pathetic. So especially this is not really, applicable like when you have a mobile phone and all, and you are just, doing all this fitness and all, which I have discussed. That is for the modern uh, era. But what I am now, this particular predicting patient outcomes in the healthcare system, how it is really helpful, I'll tell you. um, for the interiors where the people are not being diagnosed, initial diagnosis. And for that, what is required is the doctors, there is not sufficient doctors cannot reach out to those places. So image analysis plays a pivotal role in this particular one of the activity, where they, especially the TV dog, the disease, the TV, is one of the a major disease, which is actually infectious also, from one person to another person. So it is important to identify in the community where it is happening, which is interior, and many people are suffering the similar disease. So it is important to do initial screening and checks where the doctor cannot reach, right? So for this, I think one of in my network, someone has already started this. So they set up one X-ray, chest X-ray machine in the remote, and there one person is there. So people are going, the local peoples are going and doing their chest X-ray on a regular basis, and then those X-rays are captured in an image form, and then those images are being analyzed, and then they are checking that how whether this particular um, community has a significant number of TB patients or not. So this is I have just tried to give you one example where these remotely they are connecting. So uh, getting their images, and based on this image they are doing this analysis. So basically what they have to do, they don't have to do anything except going and doing the X-ray. So obviously this X-ray machine has to be installed in the interior. That is one of the major tasks. But after that, I mean, We don't need a lot of doctors to be present, regular visits, and all these things has been uh, managed remotely. So remote patient assistance is one of the important aspect where uh, uh, the sufficient doctors, when the sufficient doctors are not able to present physically. So this is one of the major development that's happened with the help of generative AI. And okay, uh, and another, what is this predicting disease outbreak? Healthcare organizations use data analytics to monitor public health data and predict disease outbreaks by analyzing factors such as patient symptoms, travel history, and environmental data that can anticipate and respond to a potential outbreak. So basically, I try to capture this with the help of that one of the example. Similarly, this cholera and typhoid and something like that, which is waterborne diseases, some of the waterborne diseases, when it is happening, how proactively, and when it happens with for the entire community, since it is a waterborne. Now that the thing is, people are having this water on a regular basis, then all of a sudden, if someday something happens, and then people are complaining about this particular problem. So when the one patient comes, two patient comes, three patient comes, so this data are being recorded electronically, and then all these informations are taken into considerations. But the main is the kiosk. That kiosk has been set up. The initial image reading. Pictures are taken, and the initial symptoms based on that kiosk plays a pivotal role in collecting the initial information. So that has already been set up in remotely. I know some of the organizations have started doing, and probably it is going to roll out all over India with this remote patients assistance. So this is one of the major, I would say, advancement that has happened, a revolution that has happened with AI and generative AI, with the high-end technology machines. Okay, content creation. This is, I think, we have talked about in detail that how to uh, create a very relevant content, very connected content creation plays a pivotal role in using GenAI for automated content creation. Though we call automated content creation, it is not fully automated though. You have to give lot of prompts and all, and uh, the creativity obviously cannot. You cannot get the creativity from the generative AI, GenAI. Of course, you have to give your inputs, your creativity, but definitely this GenAI will help you to beautify that. Okay, so that much. But don't expect that. Okay, you want to write a story, uh, but then you ask or you give a prompt to GenAI and it will give a story. So this is not going to happen. Okay. Okay. Now would like to take a quick pause for let's say 30 seconds, and we'd like to know any question. Yeah, on the content creation and the healthcare predicting patient outcome and dynamic pricing, of course, if you want to.
Participants, if you have any question, you may ask by unmuting yourself.
Okay, I think 30 seconds is over. Any questions sir you have got from anyone?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, now I am going to talk about little bit of different aspect of data analytics on various business verticals. Okay, and then on and then why I am sharing this particular information or this outlook with all of you, because when we are teaching our students, even and also for ourselves also, we need to understand that what are the different business functions, and also what are the different business verticals. Okay, so these two are the two different things. One is the business function, another is the business vertical. So business vertical wise, if I have to tell you, so any service industries or any industry are operating in this fashion. Retail, which is within retail, there are offline and online. So obviously that is why I'm talking about in within retail there are FMCG and CPG. More or less, both are closely related, connected, but still it is different. CPG is consumer packaged goods and FMCG is fast moving consumer goods, more or less in the same line, but then within retail, offline, and e-commerce. Okay. Banking, financials, and insurance comes together because you have seen that all the banks, they are tying up with insurance companies and rolling their products across the customers because but now the concept has changed. That was the initial when the companies, insurance companies especially, which is overseas companies, when they wanted to capture the Indian market, or the similarly vice versa, when any company want to capture any local market, the best way to go with the holding hands with someone who knows, right? So in this case, that is why an insurance and banking and financials are closely connected. So that is why, I mean, insurance has chosen bank uh, to capture the market or to capture the customers. So that is why BFSI comes together. Then life science and healthcare, obviously, as you can understand, there is a life science and there is a healthcare. In healthcare, you can think of all the what I would say, like this diagnostic centers comes under healthcare, hospitals comes under healthcare. Okay, but life science are predominantly, we're talking about the clinical trial data, the medicines, the pharma companies. So life science is predominantly the pharma company. Let's say if I have to take the name, let's say Johnson and Johnson, right? So that's the one pharma company. uh, then we have Novartis is another pharma company. They are predominantly uh, dominating the life sciences. Obviously, the Sun Pharmaceuticals, you have heard the name. So they are primarily into the medicines, and they are doing research day in and day out to bring a lot of medicines into the market. But healthcare is basically that service provider, kind of. Okay, so that is how you can segregate. Okay, this is my definition, my way of understanding. But if you get some different definition, definitely I respect that. But for my understanding, this is how I have segregated. So you can bring healthcare, you can be the diagnostic centers and stuff like that. That is basically comes under the healthcare. Then travel and hospitality services. Um, Travel and hospitality services, within that it is coming all the hotels, of course, and the destinations, the travel destinations nowadays it is talking about. So all these things comes under the travel and hospitality services. And manufacturing and logistics. Manufacturing and logistics, of course, comes together. Why? Because without logistic, manufacturing cannot sustain, right? So you can manufacture a few things, but then if you cannot, uh, uh, reach to the destination, um, then it is of no use. It can be perishable, it can be non-perishable, it can be anything. But this manufacturing tied with logistics. So that is why these two comes together. Okay. Then comes energy and utility. What is energy and utility? So this electricity in India, I mean, I have not seen much, but then in US and Europe, obviously this energy and utilities plays a pivotal role. They're doing and energy, water comes under energy. Of course, here we do not consider water as a natural resources. So, but energy and utility means all natural resources, but under the radar of government or any organizations. So how they are utilizing this. Okay. Um, then comes communication, media, and infotainment and telecom. So you might ask that Sandeep, why telecom and the CMI? It's called CMI and TVU. So communication, media, and infotainment means all these OTTs and TV and all these things comes under CMI, communication, media, and news channels. Of course, everything comes. and telecom means all the telecom industries. Okay, so it can be Airtel, it can be Jio, it can be um, Uninor, I think. That is Telenor, for that, for example. Virgin Media, it's in US actually. Sorry, in UK. So all these telecom companies are present. Okay. So this is about the data analysis on the different business verticals. So before we indulge into any analytics, we need to understand that okay, which business vertical we want to talk about, and then within that vertical, what are the different business functions. Okay. Okay. Now I'm business functions. Just well, Acha. And if I have to talk about the different business, I have not captured here, but you can take quick notes if required. So the different business functions means predominantly it talks about the HR and operations. Okay, it finance and accounting. Okay, so finance and accounting, HR and operations, then what finance and accounting, risk team, um, then marketing, okay, uh, then customer service, customer care. So these are the predominantly typical breakdown of different functions of any industry. So all these industries are cutting down by those verticals. Let's say HR is present in all these businesses. Operations, obviously. So when we talk about that operation analytics, we can talk about operation analytics, but then it is important to know which business function or business vertical we are talking about. So that means operations in banking is very different in operations in life science, right? Then operations in TNH or means travel and hospitality is very different in operations in manufacturing and logistics. So operations as such does not stand alone. Operation will always tag with any of the business vertical. Similarly, the HR, but role of HR is more or less same, but the importance changes from places to places. Okay, customer service, of course, customer service in cutting across all these business verticals, but then the problem is the customer service in retail FMCG, the way you will handle the customer. Okay, that BFSI, the way you will handle the customer, and the manufacturing and logistics, you will not be able to handle the customer in that same fashion. That is number one. Number two is major differentiator is B2B, B2C. Uh, Maybe all some of you know, some of you don't know, or some of you have not exactly the idea, which is B2C, B2B is business to business, means it's a wholesale banking, wholesale business. Okay. B2C is business to consumers. Okay. So where uh, let's say any retail this thing B2 and the new terminology come B2 B2C. Okay, I'll quickly talk about what is B2B, what is B2C, and what is B2 B2C. Why it is important to know, because then you when you are going to give any a specific customer driven solution, then you need to understand first that okay, I am building this solution for B2B, or I am building the solution for B2C, or I am building solution for B2 B2C, means business to customer. So these are the three different aspect of the business. Okay. So B2B is what all the wholesale business. For example, who I just giving one example, Infineon. There is a customer called Infineon. Infineon is basically the chip making company. It's based out of Singapore. If you do some Google search, and you'll be able to see this particular chip making company are uh, they do their business. So they, for them, the customers are all the manufacturing customers. Okay, let's say Nvidia is one of the customers. Now why I'm bringing this particular example here is because on the and then the DeepSeek, I think you have heard this recently. There's a DeepSeek has incorporated into the market, and it captures a lot. So after all this generative AI means OpenAI, DeepSeek entered into the market little later. So when you'll see, so all this requires what? The high computing machines, right? And how computing machines comes from the chips business. Okay, so obviously the sharp share prices increases. Uh, they have their multi-year deals that okay for the next 10 years this particular company X is having a contract with this manufacturing of chip company, a 5 year deal, 3 year deal, 10 year deal. Keeping in mind that okay, I am going to invest X amount of uh, investments into this market. So this is an ecosystem. Now, when the DeepSeek technology comes in and they're telling that okay, you don't need high computing machines, so then people are suddenly says, "Oh my God!" Then I have invested so much amount. Is it going to go in vain? So these are the B2B. Okay. So in this case, we have to understand. We have to analyze the businesses very well. It can be the painting business as well. Let's say in India, if I have to talk about that Asian Paints, Barger and all. So they primarily, you will not be able to understand and differentiate who is their customer, right? So suppose you and me are deciding to, you know, do the painting in my house, right? So what I do, maybe I will contract a local person, and the other person will come and go and purchase the Asian paints or let's say Bajaj. So identifying the right customer. So this, but they cannot rely on people like us, right? Who would be the actual retail customers. Okay. So in this case, it is B2B2C. So they I finally are reaching out to the end customer, but through the journey of the different middlemen. Okay, so this is B2B2C. Okay, for them they have to satisfy their immediate dealers, and then the in a way the dealers are satisfying to their end customer. So this is how this operates. So this is B2B2C. B2C is business to customers that we are talking about any e-commerce where we are directly selling the products. We are directly selling the products. That is basically the B2C. And then B2 B2B2C and B2B I have already explained, and B2C is this one. Okay. And then when we are talking about B2C, we have to keep another thing in mind, which is the this e-commerce. When we are talking about the e-commerce, in e-commerce actually there are two types of e-commerce are happening. I mean, two types in the sense that I'm just trying to segregate in my own way. One is through marketplace. So that means some manufacturers are coming and telling that okay, I used to sell my products through Amazon or Flipkart. Okay, these are called marketplace, and then I want to open up my website, and through my website only now I want to sell my products. Not only website. So website will be one of my sources for selling the product, and apart from this, likewise, you will be able to see many such brands who has their own websites, as well as they are also available over Amazon and Flipkart or any marketplace or the platform. So this is very, very important that we understand the business function, and we understand the customer, and we understand the business, the knowledge of the business or the business sentiment. Then we draft or we formulate the business problem. What we do, I mean, at least I have seen many people when I say that, okay, can you build a model? They immediately jump into the conclusion, okay, I have to build a model, give me the data, I will build the model. They're not asking these questions that, okay, this is for which business function? This business function is tagged to which business verticals? And then these business verticals are what is their objective? Their objective is to target the end customer. Their objective is to target the intermediate, dealers or something like that. Because the strategy will be completely different for B2B, B2C, and B2B2C. So these are the three different strategies. So with this, I would like to conclude this particular, presentation. and I have exact 30 minutes. So I would like to touch upon the extensively on one of the solution that I developed, which wanted to showcase. So would like to take a quick pause and would like to have your uh, questions. Yeah. Any question from anyone? I would love to answer. Any questions? I will wait for 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds in case I get any question. Yeah, Dr. Sinu Nambiar. Thank you, sir. Please ask me. You can unmute and you can ask me. I'm not able to hear, so you have to unmute. Yeah, just a minute. I've allowed access. I'm not able to hear anything. It's a stark silence on the opposite side. No question. Any from anyone else? No question. Okay. Okay. So let me proceed with my question. Let me see the chat. So no specific question to the session. Okay, I'm sharing my email ID here. So if you have any question, maybe you can share with me later on. So okay. Hello, hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, okay, okay. Actually, it's become non-interactive, so I little bit worried. Anyways, so I have shared my email ID, and I'll also share my mobile number after the end, after towards the end of the session. Please feel free to connect with me. Okay, in case you have any specific question, I would love to connect one to one, and if it helps you. Okay, so that is second. Third is, let me share my another presentation, which will be predominantly not on this. So just let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So this particular exercise I wanted to show you to share with you that one of the exercise that was smart support through machine learning. This is bit old. This is based on ML, but the same thing can be done in today's date with generative AI. Okay, this was developed with Azure machine learning. Uh, those who has some cloud understanding will be able to understand. But let me talk about very generic, the business problem, and what was the data availability, and what was activity was performed here. Okay, uh, it is in the domain of operations. Of course, operations means IT operations. Of course, I'm talking about in a support ticket environment, issue tracking system environment. The main problem is the possibility of tickets being redirected to the unrelated stuff. Means in Salesforce, or you even in day in and day out, you see, right, you have a banking problem and you call up on banking customer care, then you keep on dialing A1 number, dial 2 3 4 5, and they are giving so many options, and finally they are handing over to some customer care representative, where you have explained from top to bottom, and then he or she could not understand, and they said that no sir, I am not the right person, let me redirect it to the appropriate person. So whenever these things happens, obviously it's a patience game, right? At some point in time we get so irritated that uh, why they are not able to understand my problems and route it to the right person. So this is a challenge from the business side also. So till now, I mean, before we launched this, it was not very prominent. Like, okay, the moment I get the ticket, right? I mean, I get an issue, I should be able to read that issue, and then I should be able to, capture those the keywords and everything, and the sentiments of the customer, and I should be redirecting to the right channel, means the right skill set of the person. If it is a computer related, so all of us are working into the different departments, right? But then if my laptop is not working properly, so there can be thousand reasons, right? And there can be in hardware, there can be in software, and within that also there is a software which is, let's say, statistical software, non-statistical software. There can be uh, some access issues. Okay, so all the things are good and correct, but then you don't have an access to a specific folder, and that is why you are not able. So you have to do that through remotely. How can you do? Or at least the IT has to understand that, okay, this is an access issue. Or let's say there is a whitelisting. Suppose one a particular website is being blacklisted, or it is restricted for the organization. But for your own research purposes, or you are building something, you need that website to be accessible. And in a similar fashion, it happens when it was a long back when we used to install the, let's say, cloud environment, and then we install Python or R, for example, as a software. Then along with that, the packages has to be installed, and for that, I mean, if they give this particular environment in a seclusion where there is no internet access, then and you are reading it, you are creating your own models. You need plethora of modules, right? So all these modules, they cannot uh, extract in advance, and you can be kept into the in seclusion. So you need to have a runtime access, otherwise your production or your model development will impact it. So in order to do all these things, like identify the right issue and route it to the right person, was the most important activity which was required long time. Okay, so for that, this is the kind of data, that availability of the data, support ticket data. It is available, which was www.salesforce.com. Retrieved from support now or from service now. Then data include important information on support ticket life cycle. So this support ticket life cycle means what are the informations you are going to get, like case ID, subject, description, functional group, skill group, age in days. Age days means, let's say, how many days the ticket has been raised. So user has raised the ticket, let's say 3 days back, right? So this is called the aging. How many days? So 3 days passed, but the problem has not been solved. 5 days passed, the problem has not been solved. Something like that. Leverage machine learning. Classify ticket across high and low risk based on multiple attributes. Identify. So, what machine learning will do? So, based on these attributes like case ID, subject, description, functional group, skill group. So, all this, the ticket has to be classified. First of all, that high risk and low risk tickets means suppose if I'm just giving one example, of course, not with respect to one attribute. If the ticket is raised, let's say 3 days back or 4 days back or 5 days back, and the ticket is still not solved, uh, so obviously it's a high risk ticket because now the customer will escalate to the next level. Then low risk is just like say 10 minutes back a ticket has been created. So this is with respect to the aging. In a similar fashion, I'm talking about the different domain can also be made. Let's say access issue. Okay, so access can easily be solved by remotely can be given the access. But if it is a hardware issue, so hardware issue means that physically that particular machine has to be take back into the uh, hardware center where the engineer will solve that problem. So it is important to identify such situations which is time taking, which is controlled by the human or has to be solved by the human, or cannot be solved remotely. So those identifying the different aspects and the perspectives, you are actually classifying the ticket. Okay, so that is why it's mentioned that multiple attributes. Then identify uh, trends hidden in the data analysis for the ticket analysis. Then predict risk associated with the ticket and identify possible outcomes. Exactly what I just talked about. Now, how Azure machine learning? Azure machine learning actually I have used, but I'm not sure how many of you are have seen or have access to the cloud environment. Those who have worked on will probably will do you use able to connect this. So there are different modules in Azure machine learning. So I'm not getting into that module. So there is a data input and output, uh, then data transformation. So you after inventing this, of course, you don't have to really do it from scratch. Why I'm sharing this information means you typically don't have to waste your time in data transformation. So data transformation, different modules are there where the customer information means conversion, binning, um, creating categories. This becomes very easy, so you don't have to really do everything on your own. It is available, and there is a machine learning algorithms, a plethora of algorithms are there. There's a semi-cooked or half-cooked algorithms where you just have to give the data, and then you have to choose which model you want to use, and then it's basically based on it is being pre-trained model we are talking about. You just have to give the data, so it will run on that data and it will give the output. Okay. Then machine learning module is used for ticket score prediction with the support vector machine. So we have used here. So random forest and support vector machine. I will only talk about these two algorithms. The way I used to use it long time back, of course not now. It's basically support vector machine. When you use, you will not be able to get the feature importance. Suppose you develop a model, so support vector machine will be able to give you the scores, of course. And in the scores, why support vector machine? Because support vector machine will has the capability of dealing with the very complex characteristics of the data, where you are not able to segregate your it's not a linear segregation, of course. It's a non-linear segregation, and you are not able to segregate good with bad, or you know uh, high complex, medium complex, or low complex. If it is a multinomial, something like that, then definitely support vector machine plays a pivotal role. But then let's say you have 10 attributes or 20 attributes based on which you have actually defined this particular machine learning module. Then the problem is you need to know, right, which attributes, because finally you have to give it back to your business that okay, these are the instruments or these are the actionables I am giving it to you. You work on this. Let's say aging is one attribute or skill group, and within skill group, which particular skill group is predominant in solving most of the problems. Functional groups, what are the different functional groups, and which particular functional group is actually playing the pivotal role. So all this, if we want to have the weightage of this, then you have to run some other algorithm. In this case, I have used the sub random forest. Okay, so just random forest will give you the weightage, and a support vector machine will give you this particular model scores. So this is how it is happening. And those who don't know, please, I would request just take one Azure subscription, and you will get everything. Of course, first 1 month free, and then you will be able to play around. because if our students has to sustain into the market, they have to learn any of this cloud technology, either Azure or GCP or AWS. These three, I would say, must learn kind of thing. Apart from that, there is I think Snowflake is also there. Databricks is also there. So Databricks, Snowflake, these are like data-driven things. Algorithms and all are there, but not that advanced. So I would request either GCP or AWS or Azure. Request your students to learn any one of these, not all the three. But cloud technology learning is pivotal in today's date because everything is on cloud, and without cloud understanding, neither AI nor Gen AI can be learned. Okay, so this is pretty much 318. So I'll just summarize this particular thing: business objective, business opportunity, and improve accuracy. So improve it actually helps because once we are able to identify and classify the ticket, and then we are actually routing the ticket to the right person through the use of machine learning and text mining of code. These are the two that I have used that point in time. Um, where classifying and appropriate person support team, and obviously the faster we do, obviously it takes lesser time, it improve customer satisfaction, and it reduces the cost of running from one table to another. Okay. um, so issue tracking perspective, this particular solution was very helpful, and improve accuracy. Of course, needless to say, because now we are understanding the customer need from the customer itself. Otherwise, what was happening? The moment it's called Chinese whisper. So customer says something to agent X, then agent X understand 30% of it, or 40% or 60%, and then cascading it to agent B, right? Then agent B understand few things, and then so basically, in this transformation, or in this not transformation, in this transactional journey, the lot of informations are getting reduced or missed. Huh? So instead of that, if they the information in the writing form or in the voice form, because now voice to text is also available, so customer don't have to write anything. Customer can talk their problem, and then using voice to text API, so this text has been can be converted easily, and from those text we understand the different aspects and the attributes informations are captured, and then we run the model that what exactly the customer is looking for, and then we assign. We have plethora of catalog where the different issue trackers, I mean issue tracking engineers are available, so we assign the right engineer. So this is the way the entire solution works. And of course, if we do this, I mean every customer care department takes this particular solution, where we are using this mm, text mining, sentiment analysis. We are taking into consideration the intent of the customers, the semantic concept of the customer's thought process. So if we bring in all these aspects, we use the Gen AI. Here we did not apply Gen AI, but now we can apply the Gen AI also. So it can leads to of course. A revolution into the ticketing system. Okay, and definitely it will improve the customer satisfaction. So that's pretty much journey and all. I'm not getting into, just for your the benefit I'm just showing. So technology stack, high level architecture. So source data, support ticket data from ServiceNow. ServiceNow is the ticketing system. Then from there, the Azure platform it goes, and then support vector machine as an algorithm has been chosen, but now it is an ensemble. Apart from support vector machine, which we have not mentioned, is the which we call the random forest has also been used. Then of course the data is here. We are talking about the Azure SQL because we are talking about the text data, field text data. But if we have to do the vector database and all, we can consider the Azure PostgreSQL. PostgreSQL is actually will help you to do the indexing and the vectorization of the data, so that we can apply the generative AI, Gen AI, on top of that. But here, if your data is semi-structured or structured, then definitely Azure SQL would play a pivotal role in solution giving the solution. Then this is the Power BI and Cortana. So as you have seen at the very beginning, I talked about the dashboard. Dashboard plays a pivotal role because this is the communication medium. But now if we use the Gen AI, definitely the Gen AI will have their own um, um, using the Gen AI, actually we can use the a quick app uh, and give the solutions. I mean representation. Okay, so clustering, support vector machine. So prepare solution approach is prepare, model, analyze, and align. So these are the 4 steps. So support ticket data from service now, then data quality checks, dummy variable creation, and ticket risk as per dependent variable. These are the activities that we do. Then from there, the model development, of course, the random forest for variable prioritization, text mining, for the unstructured data, and for semi-structured or structured data, the support vector machine. Then we analyze the support vector machine generation entry, and so two scoring concepts we have bring it. One is the entry score, another is the behavior score. So entry score high means it is very complex. Entry score and a low behavior score means the ticket has not been taken seriously, and it has been writing going routing to the wrong person. So from the score, we can really tag the journey where the ticket uh, life cycle is going. So ticket life cycle analysis, and then we can take the proactive action even it is turning into some massive escalation. Okay. So this is how the modeling overview. So data processing, variable selection, model development, and model evaluation. It's very standard process. So I'm not getting into the details. The data preparation, variable identification through SBM, in machine learning, then methodology to develop the model, random forest text mining, support vector machine, methodology to evaluate the data like precision, recall, AUC curve, risk ranking, and population stability for the model stability checks. This is how the overall modeling overview works, like support ticket data, then text mining, random forest for variable prioritization. Using the text mining, we do the every ticket classified across clusters. Then using the variable prioritization, we identify the entry score and then the behavioral score. Then finally, the support vector machine for score generation. So either first entry score, first it will get the entry score, and then after entry score, from second point onwards. So if this journey has, let's say, 5 milestone or 6 milestones, then obviously one after another, it is first it is going to get the entry score. So very similar to when you apply for a loan, right? So it is called the application score, app score. So based on your initial application score, you will be allowed, it will be either you will be eligible or it will not be eligible. So once you are allowed or eligible, then you are entered into the system. The moment you enter into the system, so you may get ended up with getting the loan, which happens 90% of the time or 99%. Maybe 1 or 2% cases where customer is not able to give the sufficient documentation, is not going to get the loan. But for the rest of the 99% uh, candidates or the applications, this this loan happens, and after happening the loan, uh, it is basically the behavior of the consumer in that case, that how the customer is repaying the loans and everything. But in this case, it is how this particular ticket is being taken care of, whether the ticket has been nurtured by the right set of people, right skill set, right department, or it has gone to some wrong set of people. So this behavior score means if it is not going to the right person, obviously the aging will increase. Maybe the matching, the similarity matching between the customer problem and the skill set mapping has wrong. So definitely it will highlight. Okay, so obviously that will impact your behavioral score. And if your behavioral score is low, the moment you identify, okay, the score my low, so let's see what is the attribute is actually creating this low score. Then you identify and track that attribute for the next 2 days, 3 days, or one day, and then easily understood that, okay, due to this, now why this behavior, in order to improve this, that means I have to change the right skill set, or I have to change the right department. So something like that. So that means this particular solution or the similar solutions are not only you are building the model, you are also giving the different actionables into the hands of the users. Okay, so with this, I would like to conclude my session today. Thank you very much, and I kept 2 minutes for the discussions in case you would like to discuss any specific points. Yeah.
Participants, if you have any doubt or if you have any question, you can ask. Please unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, I would love to answer your questions, because for the last 1 hour I'm completely talking one way. Good to have some points from your side also. Yeah, participants, please come forward. You have 1 more minute to discuss, and this is my mobile number in case you would like to reach out to me. Sir, am I allowed to share my number here?
Sure, sir. If you wish, you can share.
Yeah, because all respected professors are present here, so I have shared my number. So in case you would like to contact me in terms of understanding few things from the business perspective, that, okay, sir, I would like to know this, I'll be happy. And I have also shared my email ID. So now you have my email ID and my phone number. So feel free to connect with me anytime. Yeah. Okay. So I think the
So
session was helpful. Yeah. Over to you, sir. Yeah. I'm good.
thank you very much, sir, for your enriching session and enlightening session. And it is really good to hear you again after day before yesterday. And both the session were very much engaging. Thank you very much, sir. We will definitely process. If there are any queries from the participant, we will process it to you. Have a good day.
Correct. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Yeah.
Participants, we will take a 5 minutes break and then we will start our next session.
Okay. Thank you. I'm dropping off.